Right, I know he's there somewhere. Ah, there he is. Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, this video today is on a 2012 Peugeot 208. I'm not sure which engine is on this. Not sure if it's important. Well, it might be important actually. So this car was dropped here, guys. Actually, you might have seen that video already. It was dropped here while I was waiting for the security time to pass on that combo 1.7. So the guy dropped this, and he also dropped he gave the key to the missus, and he gave this to the missus, and he said, am I gonna need it? What the heck's going on with this? Anyway, apparently the engine light is on. I don't want to work here in front of the house, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the van out of the way. The Audi is there. Don't know if that's going to make into a video, but anyway, we're going to put the Peugeot side by side on the Audi, and we're going to work in there in front of the garage. So the first thing as I'm going to do, as you can probably imagine, guys, is going to be a scan it and see what we have, do an inspection. But first of all, let's gonna start. This is the first time I'm getting to this car, by the way, so let's gonna start this thing. Really tricky to start. Come on. I don't think it's gonna start. Okay, I don't think it's gonna start. Okay, let me see what it takes to start this thing then. Okay, and it looks like if I start it and then I keep revving the engine, so it comes up with that, engine light is on. If I keep revving it, I can hold it. Yeah, I can hold it. Yeah, if I keep the revs high, I can keep it running. If I leave it, now it's kind of holding now. Okay, it's holding the revs now, but it was shutting down as soon as I took my foot off the accelerator. Okay, that's strange. Okay, I don't want to warm up the engine, because last thing I want is having to work somewhere where the engine is going to be really hot. So the next thing we're going to do, as I said, we're going to move the van and we're going to start to work on this. Yeah, I know, guys. I know, I need to fix that. How do they say? The son of the shoemaker soon will go barefoot. Em português we say, em casa de ferreiro, espeto de salgueiro, ou espeto de pau. O que é a mesma coisa, para vocês portugueses aí a ver os meus vídeos. But yeah, guys, so yeah, there's a problem with that. It is charging, but the battery light is constantly on. The M5 also developed a small fault, nothing major, but something that I want to tackle. That is really annoying. The Corsa so far is the only of my cars that still has no faults, which, let's keep it like this, because it's the runaround at the moment. So anyway, nothing to do with this video. Okay, I had to pull the car a little bit off inside because it looks like it's going to rain. I can't pull the car all the way in because there's some parts from the Audi on the floor, which you all might see later if that comes into a video. Anyway, we are ready for this. I just want to go straight to my engine ECU to understand why the light is on. I haven't opened the bonnet yet, so it might be that there's something in there. Well, I don't know why he dropped me this yet. So let's gonna see what trouble codes we have. Okay, so wheel speed sensor, intermittent. So I care about these faults for now. This is my permanent exhaust, camshaft, variable timing solenoid, valve control, open circuit. Let's gonna open that bonnet. Okay, I had to put a light because it gets a little bit dark when I get the car under the gate, under the garage door. But look at that. Right, what the heck is going on here? So I think everything else looks plugged in, looks okay. It doesn't look like anything else has been messed with. The engine on this, guys, is a petrol engine, I believe. Could go and have a look, but it might be the 1.4 or 1.6 maybe. I don't know if there's any reference here for the engine type. I don't think there is, not that I can see at glance. But either it's going to be a 1.4 or 1.6, whatever. Anyway, let's just temporarily let's just connect these here and see what happens. I don't know. So this is supposed to be on this side, actually, like that, isn't it? Okay, that goes. Let me get my light. Yeah, that goes underneath there somewhere. Is that? Yeah, that's in place. This is not in place. This is not in place. There's one solenoid at the back as well. This solenoid does have some marks in there at the back. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. Probably not. Right there at the back. So looks like someone had this solenoid out. Anyway, let's kind of plug it in and see what happens. Okay, that's temporarily done. Now this plug, guys, didn't belong to this car. I don't know if you can see the difference. Better light. No, it's even worse. I don't know if you can see, guys, the tone on the orange wires is different. You can see the difference. One is more yellowish than the other one. So this plug definitely is not from this car. What happened? I don't know. I never asked the guy. But we're gonna try to start the car now and see what happens to the fault codes, really. So actually, let's gonna get inside. Well, it would be a very, very easy fix. Jesus. Okay, let's gonna put just the ignition on. Let's clear these TTCs. $21 already. Wow. Okay. My God. Yeah. Mileage, I'll just leave that, I don't care. Oh, we'll put the right mileage. Okay, it's gonna put the right mileage. It is 79,649. 79,649. Okay, and I've just run out space on my phone, so let's gonna try this again. So clear the codes, try to start this thing. Let me see if I show you this. And it's running even worse. It's sputtering, it's juddering. But I've noticed another thing just while I was deleting the codes, while I was here clearing space on my phone. Look at the temperature gauge. That's strange, isn't it? Look at that. If I rev it, I can keep it going, kind of, but it's running really bad. Okay. Let's go back to the engine ECU again. will we... engine is off. Will we have any other issues with the wiring, with plugs that have been cut? What the heck's going on with this? Okay, trouble codes. Let's see first. Okay, so it didn't create any trouble codes. Live data. I just want to see. Driving. There we go. Coolant temperature 115 degrees. That's impossible. Everything else I'm not gonna worry too much for now. So let's go to see where the sensor is located and try to see what's wrong with it, because that might cause some starting issues as well. Okay, and the sensor, there's actually two sensors attached to the same thing. So there's a plug here, and there is two sensors. There's one down there, which I believe one is like the outlet of the engine and then goes through the radiator, and the other one measures the temperature coming back to the engine. So I don't know if they are not connected like in series, they are separate. So I don't know if it takes, but I can't see on the live data a reading for the other sensor. So I don't know if that ignores the other sensor, and it's just, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this. There's a couple of things that are not plugged in place down here. But anyway, what I've done, guys, this was plugged in, I unplugged it, and I just want to see if my reading now defaults to those minus something, minus 40 or whatever that is. So ignition is on, as you can see, and indeed it does. So if I unplug the sensor, it goes to minus 45, which means to me that the circuit is working. So at the moment I would love to find, I've been here, tried to find the reading from the other sensor, but I've checked every single one of them and I can't find it. So I'm not 100% sure where that other reading is going to be, unless it's not on the matrices and would be, for example, on diag box. I'm not 100% sure. So obviously there is also options here and special functions, obviously, to do a timing, programming and all that good stuff. But until we get this sensor repaired, I'm not going to do it, because, or until we get this temperature problem sorted, there's no point, because the temperature, it will affect how the car is going to behave. So what can I do with this? Let me think. Okay, guys, I rang the owner to understand a little bit more of what's going on with this, and I've asked him exactly what's the background with the car, and you're gonna laugh when I tell you this. So the car, this engine doesn't belong to this car, so this is a different engine that's been put in, and straight away there I start to have my questions. But I've seen wrong engines put in, then the wrong ECU. You watch my videos, guys, I hope, so you know what I'm talking about. But apparently this engine has been replaced, and I've asked them what was the problem, and they said the problem was, after the engine replaced, was that the car would start. He didn't tell me why the engine was replaced initially. He said he was not 100% sure. Who knows? But he said after the engine was replaced, the car would struggle to start in the morning, which is just what we experienced when we first started in front of the house. And he said after a few minutes of warming up, it would run okay. So that to me starts to lead me to that temperature sensor, to that wrong temperature reading. Then I've asked him about that, and he told me, well, because the mechanic realized that the car would run slightly better with that unplugged. And I said to him, I asked him, so why did he just not unplugged and that's it? And he just said, I don't know. So basically the mechanic, rather than just unplug this, he decided to cut the plug. Honestly, I know, guys, I know, it's oh, Jesus Christ, it's some of the stuff I go through is unbelievable. Anyway, so let's gonna leave that like that for now. I can fix that later. For now, what I want to do is now tackle this temperature problem. That's why I brought the matrices here, and I'm gonna put the phone somehow here where you can see it. so we can all look at some live data at the same time. So let's kind of put the phone pointing to there. So let's just confirm this. So when I plug this in, I get my 108 degrees, when obviously no chance the car is 180 degrees. And it's let me see if I wiggle this, if there's any difference, if there's any poor contact somewhere. So no, not here on this side. Okay, so it fluctuates a little bit. Okay, I want to unplug these sensors. I think it's going to be the sensors. Okay, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get to these plugs because they are right down there. Oh. Okay, let me see if I can get these sensors out somehow and see how we can do this. And even before I get any further, I start to do a little bit more inspections. Look at this. Look at those rubber seals. Look at that. Jeez, look at that. Honestly, I'm not going to rant because you guys don't like too much, but my God. My God. Look at this. Oh man. Okay, so I've been cleaning these plugs. It's still oil coming out, so I've been spraying some of this solvent contact cleaner. Gonna have to clean it a little bit more. Clean that there as well, as you can see, got all the oil out. But now, where is this oil coming from? Would these be coming from here, from this valve, and somehow the oil got through? But have they replaced the loom as well? With this, so I got that one out to make sure this is clean. But was the oil from the old engine? So is these new valves? I rang the guy again, he literally doesn't know. So I don't know if they replaced the engine with the harness and the other harness was the one that was bad. And they just didn't clean the ECU maybe, but because I have the oil coming out from here, I have a feeling that maybe, unless the ECU is full of oil, who knows. It's a little bit of a tricky one right now. But we're going to do a little bit more cleaning, so I'm going to put that back together, clean it a little bit more, plug it in, and see again what happens. Okay, and I've ended up dismantling this plug and cleaned it. I don't know, I think I used nearly a can of that, and until no more oil would come out of this. Now, if there is oil inside the wires, well, that's another issue. But I've cleaned it and I've checked, and guess what? That temperature sensor, and most likely the one at the back as well, I didn't check that, but they all come to this plug here. So we still kind of head into something. Now, if these wires here, they don't have any sign of oil on them. Obviously this plug didn't belong here, but these here, they seem cleaned. That one, as you've seen, seem cleaned. I'm not sure if there is a oil pressure sensor somewhere. I've disconnected that one there. I don't know if that's the pressure sensor or temperature sensor. We're gonna have a look as soon as I turn the ignition on with these unplugged. But well, I don't really need to, because as you can see, it's really clean. There's no oil. Was clean as a whistle. So this is not was not the culprit. So by all means, guys, it could have been that on the old engine, and hence the reason why that was cut. But I'm not 100% sure. All I know is everything's clean now. So we're gonna put it all back together. And see if we get any difference on this, see if it was the oil that was causing some problems here. Okay, everything kind of plugged in, everything in situ, everything in place. So let's gonna turn this ignition on. It's gonna load this, let me turn it off, turn this live data again. Let me see what we have now. It's still crap. It's still crap. So as you can see, it's still showing 112. So at this point, I really think it's going to be my sensor. Pooh. But, right, yeah, I guess my sensor. Okay, so I don't have a temperature sensor for this thing, but just to prove the concept, I plugged in a temperature sensor. Obviously the resistance range is going to be completely different, so but it's just to prove the point. So it's connected there, and as you can see, we do have minus 15. And what I want to show you is what happens when let me put the phone here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to eat the sensor, and we're going to see what happens to that temperature. So I'm going to do it now, and look at that. There we go. Okay, so if this doesn't prove that my sensor is bad, I'm not sure what else it will. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is. So we're gonna have to get a sensor for this. I'm gonna ring Peugeot, see if they have this in stock, and we will pick up one. Okay, just got back home. Unfortunately, I couldn't get nothing from Peugeot. They have their systems down, and the guy literally said, look, I don't even think they're going to get back today, so I can't sell you anything. So it's just a temperature sensor, nothing too complicated. So I rang my local car parts, and they actually have they had a Lucas one for £15 or something along those lines. So yeah, we're gonna use that one. Another thing that I would like to highlight or to say is that when I moved the car from inside to here to obviously go, the car started absolutely perfect, and it didn't sputter, didn't jet drain, didn't miss, nothing. It worked absolutely perfect. Obviously it came up with a temperature or engine temperature warning or something like that, and a stop message in there, but that is kind of expected. But yeah, let's kind of fit this sensor now. Let's kind of put the car back inside, fit the sensor, see if we are left with any other issues. If not, we'll wrap up this, but for now, let's kind of fit the sensor. Okay, so the new sensor is now in place. Okay, I had to remove this bracket just to make it a little bit easier, but we're going to put everything back on. That's the old one. So we're going to put everything back on and repair that in there as well, and then we're gonna give it a go and see if we have any other faults. Yeah, that's about it. Look at this. Okay, all back in place, all done. Cable tied, everything is done. Everything, there was a little bit of clips everywhere that were not in place, including like this one here down there is now in place. Let me show you that one there was not in place. It is now, among other things. The only thing left now is we're gonna have to top up the coolant. I don't think I've lost a lot. Let me see how much. No, just a tiny bit. We will just put some deionized water and to top it up, and that's it, and we should be ready to test it and hopefully to wrap up this video. So let's gonna see if there's anything else that's gonna happen. That's it, so let's gonna finish it off. Okay, let's gonna turn on the ignition for the first time. Okay, so good to see that my temperature now stays down there where it should be. Let's kind of log into this now, see if we have any codes. We'll surely have, because I've been unplugging loads of stuff with the ignition on, so we're gonna definitely have codes. short to ground. I had the ignition off when I unplugged the ECU, that's 100% sure. Unless some of the other sensors they share, I'm not 100% sure. Isn't an intermittent fault, so we'll have to see. But a bad sensor would explain the oil on the plug, maybe. Unless something else happened with this thing. I don't have the background of the car, obviously. So anyway, let's gonna try to, I'm not gonna clear this so I don't use another zone. I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. We're gonna go back. It's gonna try to start, see what happens. See how he starts. Now, one thing, because obviously the system was tried to run with the sensor the way it was. Exhaust dephaser disconnected. Oh dear, I don't know how he's gonna run. We might gonna have to relearn all those things. Let's. It's running a little bit bad. I don't know if you can hear it. And I think it's gonna shut down. Yeah, it does. Okay, let's gonna try to perhaps relearn these things. That's gonna be here, I think. Initializing auto adaptives. What's this? I would say is this. Initializing the auto adaptive. I never seen this. Is this what we need to do? Because I think there is, unless this just does everything at once. Because we have here, look, for the timing. We go back before I do anything. So, and then we have all this stuff. So I would say all of these needs relearning a lot of stuff. So I think it's going to be this. Okay, so I heard something going on, the fuel pump, etc. And wait for 15 seconds. So when I press that, the fuel pump run. So was, to me, it was like the ECU was resetting all the learning values, which is to me is what it looks like he's doing. So now we're gonna leave it for 15 seconds. I don't know if 15 seconds are gone. It must have been. Turn the ignition off to reset. Okay. Oh, there's the waiting for me. I never know when the tool is going to do the counting, or I need to, because sometimes it doesn't. Turn the ignition on and wait for 15 seconds. So ignition is on. Okay, so I guess it's going to do that. Yeah. Okay, so there's no warnings, no nothing at the moment, so it's fine. Let's see what it has us to do next. Okay, turn the ignition off to store the programs until the power latch comes to an end. Until the power latch comes to an end. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait for that. Okay. I'm gonna leave more than 15 seconds this time, because I want to make sure the car actually goes into sleep mode. So let's kind of wait a little bit longer. Okay, so now it's definitely, because I heard the latch going off, the fan for this thing went off, everything. I heard the car completely going off. So let's gonna turn back on and wait for 15 seconds and start the engine. So wait for 15 seconds. Okay, I can hear some other stuff. Okay, there's some other stuff. I heard something on the engine going. Okay. Coolant temperature. Okay, the engine just shut down still. No, it's not running very well. It's still shutting down. What the heck's going on with this? It literally shuts down. Okay, what else we have here now? Let's see if it throws any faults now. This is really weird. What the heck is wrong with this engine? No trouble codes. I've not even deleted. Oh, we must have deleted the codes when he did the reset, isn't it? Let me try to go through a few other things. The vehicle speed is below. Engine not running, big, of course. Turn the ignition off. To the on position. Oh, damn it. Okay, ignition off. Ignition on. Okay. Start the engine. Conditions not correct. Nah, something's not right with this. The engine's still shutting down now. Okay. What the heck's going on with this? Okay. Let me think, let me do a few checks and I'll get back to you. Okay, so this is a little bit later. I had to pick up the girls from school. The weather kind of cleared, so I think I'm going to work outside now. The light is slightly better, and I pulled the car outside. Anyway, I've been here, stopping the engine. Well, the engine stalls, so but the way the car behaves, etc., and looking some live data, to me this looks like a timing issue. Now, on one of the groups for live data, we have the data here. I'm going to highlight some of these live datas, that one and that one, and that one and that one. Sorry guys, I got interrupted, and that's wrong in there. It's not that one, is that one there. There we go. So I'm going to start the engine. Obviously I'm going to have to keep revving the engine, otherwise it will stall. But I wanted to look at not so much the dephaser status, but I wanted to look at these values. So the top value here is going to be what the ECU is expecting to see. That's the reading, and same for this, what is expecting to see. So the reference value, and that's the position measured. I'm going to start the engine. I'm going to keep revving it to obviously keep so it doesn't stall. Okay, there we go. What I want you to look is at this. Look, I know it goes every now and then, bounces, but if I keep, because the engine is just doing this, but you can see that I can kind of, it comes down to where it should be, close to there, but that one it never does. It's always up there, although that one kind of comes down to the close value. So I think that's where my problem is. It looks like it's going to be on the intake. Now it's going to shut down. It's going to stall. Yeah, it's stalled. Okay, so now let me show you what happens. Obviously, if the car stops adjusting the timing. So if I unplug this as it came initially, although we now have the correct coolant temperature, which obviously that affects the mixture and all that good stuff. So if I start the car now, it runs perfect. no problems at all. So you're gonna see. So it runs fine. So I do have a couple of things I want to try. I want a couple of things to test and try on this variable time system, and then we'll go from there. But I'll show you as I go along. Okay, and because I wanted so much to be wrong, the first thing I've done was take these solenoids off. I took these off and that one off, test them on a bench. Nothing out of the ordinary. So I put them back on, but just in case I swap them around, so I put the exhaust in the intake in the exhaust. Problem still the same on the intake side. So I then thought, okay, it's gonna have to be the timing. Let me open this, let me take the cover and have a look. And once I open, I've started with the basics. First thing, check these springs. They are known sometimes to break. They are all intact. This is for the valve lift system, all intact. My next thing was to check this. So this is the exhaust side, so exhaust intake. So that's the exhaust side, camshaft, which is correct. That's the intake side, which is correct. Then I thought, let me check in there. And I don't know how good it's going to be, the light. Which is crap, obviously, but look at that. Oh, damn it. Let me show you there at the back. You see there? EX30. So that's the exhaust. And the exhaust is on the intake. And on the exhaust, we have right there at the bottom. Can you see there? I can't really see. Kind of IN. Let me get some light. Okay, I have some light now, so that's going to be better. So there it is. So you see in there, in 35 for intake, and the intake is on the exhaust. And again on the other side, the exhaust is on the intake. So some mechanic swapped these dephasers for some reason. Who knows if these dephasers have been changed already because of the temperature sensor? Who knows? Nothing would surprise me at this point, but someone put these camshafts the wrong way. Not the camshafts, the dephasers the wrong way. That's why the timing goes the opposite way on the intake when he tries to adjust, because he's putting the timing further out. I wanted so much to be wrong. So we're gonna have to swap these two. But I need to lock this engine. I don't have the tools for this. Plus I need a jack, because my other jack is there. There's a video for that, holding the engine of that Audi. So a colleague of mine is going to lend me the toolkit to lock this engine and a jack, so we can get this done. Hopefully, don't know if it's going to be today. I'm going to try to pick up the things now, and we'll go from there. Okay, just go back home. Car is jacked up. There is a stand in there, and I have the tools, the locking tools. So let's kind of lock this engine and see how far we can get today. Okay guys, the engine is locked. So it's locked in position here and on the flywheel. I will try to show you where it is on the flywheel. Okay, so let me see if I can show you this. So it's there on the engine case behind the flywheel. There it is. Okay. So that's where you lock it. You need to push that one and spin the engine on the crankshaft, on the crank pulley on that side. So I still have the spanner in there, and you keep rotating until that tool goes all the way in, until where it is roughly, and that locks the engine in place. That's obviously the crank, and obviously then here. So now we are in position to remove these things. Remove the stationer, remove these pulleys, these dephasers, and swap them around. Okay, so camshafts have been swapped over. I had to skip up a little bit because I'm trying to finish this today, but I've showed you the main parts. So I'll tell you now that the torque for this is 20 Newton meters to start, and then 180 degrees. I've used one of those gauges, and as you can see in there now, we have the exhaust camshaft on the exhaust side, and obviously the intake, sorry guys, the intake on the intake. So that should hopefully improve, if not fix our problem. So I've torqued this down. This is all done. So the steps now is just put everything back on and give it a go, really. That's about it. Okay, my worth to mention, obviously I gave 2 turns to the engine 720 degrees by hand, put the locking tool back in, obviously the locking tool on the flywheel as well, and is spot on. Always make sure it's correct. And now yes, it's time to put everything back on. And yeah, that's it. So we'll take these off, no longer needed, and see you in a bit. Okay guys, there it is, all back together, everything plugged in, just checked and double checked. And now let's gonna start this thing and see what happens. A couple things that I forgot to mention. I think I mentioned about, obviously, no I did mention about rotate the engine manually. One thing that I didn't mention is that just before I start to take the covers off and all that stuff, I checked the engine code to make sure they didn't replace the engine with the wrong engine, because, well, if you watch my channel you know exactly what I mean. So yeah, I wanted to check that. I'll leave a picture here somewhere. It's not very visible, but indeed it was the right engine for this car. So that's when I proceed forward. So at the moment, guys, let's kind of try to start this thing. Moment of the truth. I had fuel line disconnected, etc, etc. So I'm not expecting the thing to start very quickly, but we'll see. Whoa, really actually quick. And look at that. Look at the difference. It's running. I don't think I even need to do camshaft adjustments or anything like that. Let's just quickly go to my engine ECU. See if we have any trouble codes. Yes, we do. Okay. Let's intermittent fault. So let's clear actually these codes. Actually, let's gonna do one thing here. We're gonna do one thing here, guys, because we have been messing with all of this. We're gonna do the following. We're gonna go to special functions. Let's gonna do these now. Okay, let's wait for 15 seconds. Damn it, I forget again that it does this timer once you press OK. Sorry about that, guys. So should ask me now to put it back in. Okay, so turn the ignition on and wait 15 seconds. Okay, I can hear all the noise going on the engine. Don't know if you can hear them. Okay, turn the ignition off until the power latch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to wait again a little bit longer than the 15 seconds. I know it counts the 15 seconds. We're going to wait just a little bit longer than that to make sure, and then we'll carry on. Okay, and we surely left that. So turn the ignition back on and wait 15 seconds. Okay. Okay, so I think he wants me to start the engine. Okay, so I think what's going to do now is going to want the engine to go up to temperature, and once the engine is up to temperature, it's going to ask me to go for a drive, and I need to do some fuel cut off, etc, etc. Yeah, that's what it is. Let me see if it explains here. Start the vehicle. Yeah, okay, that's it. Then validate. So when it gets to 90 degrees, we'll press validate. Okay, or press OK. But look, it's running spot on. I've closed the bonnet, but you can definitely hear it. Actually, let me open that for so you guys can see. It's running beautifully. Right, so while I put my tools away, we let the thing to warm up, and then we'll proceed. And we are nearly there, nearly there. That's working. Temperature gauge, it's good. And there we go. Let's press OK. Okay, before give back to the customer, carry a road test with different engine loads, blah 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 blah, with an 8-second injection cut off without falling below 2000 RPM. So you can read that. So we're gonna go for a drive, make sure it drives okay, and then yes, I will report back in a minute. Okay, and so far he's driving absolutely spot on, perfect, no lights, he's driving really smooth. Let's just quick make sure we have no codes. Let's see if anything came back. That does not trigger the engine light, I hope not. No, spot on. So let's gonna drive back home now and wrap up this video really, because I think it's fixed, unless something happens on the way home. So yeah, see you in a bit. And that's it, it drove absolutely perfect, no problems at all. I just came to look at these live data. So as you can see now, the intake, look at that, spot on. He's asking for 59, he's reading 60, 59, 60, so it's fine, absolutely perfect. The phase, the status, and the exhausts, there we go, spot on as well. So yeah, there is nothing else to this. I don't need to wait now until tomorrow to see a cold start, because we did a cold start when I finished to assemble the car, and you've seen it started immediately and spot on, even before we do all these reset adaptations, reset, etc, etc. So right, a combination of issues, but the main issue was definitely the camshafts being the wrong way around. Obviously the temperature, the coolant temperature sensor, it would influence the cold start, even the warm start as well, because obviously the mixture is different, etc, etc. So it would have an impact, but with the camshaft dephasers the way they were, oh well, nothing would ever work. So 100% that was the main problem. How, well, we all do mistakes obviously, but how can someone did this? It's I don't know. Plus guys, someone has been trying to fix this problem. Someone cut that plug because the car would run better with that disconnected. And they didn't have the, I don't know, the willing to go and actually find the problem. Just so poor standards. I don't know guys, I leave up to you, leave your comments. I don't want to be here say too much, because I've been criticized many times for that. So but it is frustrating, how, well, whatever guys, you've seen what the problem was, it is fixed. So I think the main thing now is wrap up this video, and I do really hope you enjoyed it. I hope there's some information here you might find useful. Hope you learned something, I don't know. If you do have any questions still, please put them below, and like always guys, thank you for watching.